Hey guys, you're going to watch this whenever you're going to watch this, but happy Friday because it is Friday for us recording this morning. So, welcome to Tolo, where we have raw, authentic conversations here in our car, sitting side by side, going in the same direction, having conversations anywhere from our faith to our family, to our marriage, to what we're doing, a little bit of everything. Sports will be thrown in here eventually. I'm really excited for that one. But anyway, here we are and here we go. I think this is episode number 5.
Yep.
If I'm thinking correctly, which I've
You are
had
correct.
no caffeine yet. So, we're going to go do that as well. But today we're going to talk about, we left off, if you've been following us and keeping up with everything, we first just gave an intro, then we went into Tim's story, my story, and then we talked a little bit about our marriage. And then
A little bit. That was an hour long.
we talked a lot about our marriage, and then we got to this point where I wanted to get to of our move to Tennessee, and so and our marriage shifting in Tennessee. So yeah, let's talk about our move. And I always say, do you want the short story or the long story? And I always make you tell the short story because you tell the very long story. I think there's some things we can leave out that aren't really important. So I'm expecting you to read my brain. I guess also,
I don't think that's true, but
I know, but I just feel like there's certain things that I would rather leave out to get into other things maybe. Anyway.
okay, I'll try.
Okay, well, good luck in reading my brain. We'll let you know how it went. So I think where I want to start is you sitting at the kitchen table. It is April, maybe May, late April, early May of,
2019.
I guess it would have been early March 2020. Because this is when COVID happened.
Okay.
Sitting at our kitchen
Well,
table.
Yeah. I see where you're bringing up.
Grandma Carol has just passed. We were stuck in Disneyland when it got shut down. That was sad. That was an experience. And we're home. Everything has changed. Everything has shifted. You are home for at least 2 weeks. And
I just feel like you can't leave out the part of my prayer to ask God to do that. So
Okay.
again, I don't try and take the credit of I prayed COVID into existence. I think obviously it was going to happen no matter what.
well, yeah.
But the amazing and timing for me and the reality of okay, what I just asked God for, He is clearly delivering to me.
Yeah. So your prayer in
Is-
January 2020 was, God, give me time.
Yeah.
I mean, really leading up to that, it was
'Cause by
between
then,
November and January, November 2019 to January 2020, it was God, I need time with my family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, I mean, I don't need to go through the story, but my job situation tended to be on a trend of every 2 to 3 years I was getting a new job. And not
But not
I
really.
couldn't hold a job. It was God was accelerating my growth and success in the construction world, that doors would just seem to be open.
Yeah.
And so it was funny to me looking back of over spiritualizing it, or
Mhm.
acting like it was always from God, but not even really living in the obedience and the stewardship that I was meant to.
Yeah.
So it was always just about more money versus what is God really trying to work in and through me
Yeah.
to get me there. And so
Right.
even now and today, I'm sharing with young men, and just God is revealing through Scripture how no matter what, you got to get to a lowly spot for Him to reveal
Yeah.
everything that He truly is,
Yeah.
because it humbles you.
Mm-hmm.
And especially on a rise in success, you almost question I don't really need God because things are just happening.
Right.
Or it's kind of like that mountain to mountain
Mm-hmm.
type life that Pastor Shane
Glory
has
to
been
glory.
preaching,
Yeah.
to where you just feel there's nothing bad in my life. Even though there was
Yeah.
bad things, it was we could just outweigh it with one good weekend
Right.
in Bellevue, or
Right.
One
We could
good trip-
manipulate it.
One good trip to Scotty Brown's
Oh, Lord.
on the way home. So it was just,
That was never good.
it was just seeming like as long as I had money
Yeah.
and things were okay there,
We were okay.
whatever might happen
Right.
argumentative wise or
Right.
setback, we could overcome.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, I'm not trying to make the story longer than it needs to, but I just think without me like really finally seeing that through not getting a job,
Yeah.
humbled me very quickly and showed me like almost like an instant repentance or turn in the other direction.
Yes. I will
money,
agree.
Money isn't everything.
Yeah.
And from there, like me chasing money isn't going to bring the time that I want.
Mhm.
Because I felt like almost at that point, I could buy time.
Yeah.
Like the more money I made would give me time to not be at work.
Yeah. For sure.
So yeah, I prayed at the end of 2019, and that's usually where I pick up the story of like, I prayed to God. I remember a specific prayer of like, Lord, give me time.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the true desire of like, I've been such an absent father. I've missed out on so much of my kids' life
Yeah.
and my marriage that at this point, I don't care if you take everything, just
Yeah.
give me time.
Yeah.
And so then, yeah.
I mean, so
You
then
had-
we literally plan a trip with my parents to go to Arizona and with Aunt Kim and Uncle Joe to go to NASCAR and then, or go to a race, and then also to go to Disneyland with the kids for the first time that they had, well, that's not true, but like for them to remember, well, at least Bentley to remember.
You know what God is just kind of speaking to me in this moment is like, if you remember, we actually made the most money in that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like God knew that my heart had shifted because then he knew I would steward the money well. And so, yeah, we stewarded it, not in the, maybe not quote unquote well to like saving,
Right.
but the areas we were spending money finally became intentional.
Yes.
To give
for
us
sure.
back time.
For sure. Because look at what God did. So like he had to humble you in December 2019 to be like, you're not going to make more money to get what you want.
Right.
What you truly desire. And then for them to go after your character and to be like, whoa, wait a minute, that is not my character. Almost for like that moment that you needed for something to click. Then to like continue to be in that prayer, then to plan this trip, go on this trip, even knowing, because at that time it was like, hey, there's like this sickness going around, be careful, nobody knows what it is. Because I remember people being like, are you guys still going on your trip? And we were like, yes, we're still going on our trip. Like,
Yeah.
you have no idea what this like means to us.
Right.
And then for us to go and that time be so intentional with my parents and Aunt Kim and Uncle Joe. And then, yeah, to be at Disneyland and it literally gets shut down while we're there, and just like little things that God did there too. And yet the entire time, like I love it. And we'll have to ask my parents when we see them. But like we did not worry. I remember my dad, we're walking around Disneyland and he's like, why would we worry? We have the favor of the Lord. Like, I'm not going to worry about a sickness.
Right.
I'm not going to worry about what's going on, like circumstantially, because I know who my God is. And if he put us in this time, then like, let's live it up. And we did.
Yeah.
Like, I literally remember feeling like we are the weird ones. Like, with the joy of the Lord on our faces, like people would be sobbing, crying, walking by us, and we would be so like happy. And people would be like, how could you be so happy?
Yeah.
Or like walking through Target and like we were trying to find just like random snacks and stuff, and people are like freaking out buying things, and we're like, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And I just remember like you could not in that moment have made our, like that was our focus. God was so our lens that you could not have changed our focus to anything else.
Right.
Circumstantially.
Right.
How quickly when we get home that changes for my parents. Because we get home, Grandma Carol ends up in the hospital. I mean, within days, right? My dad ends up quarantined. My dad ends up, I mean, he would admit, slightly depressed because now he's separated from his wife alone.
Yeah, and she went with Grandma Carol.
Because she was with Grandma Carol, so she had to quarantine in a different, it was like all the weird things. And the whole time, like if you were living as a fly on the wall, you would have been like, wait, a week ago, y'all, like, this is who God is and you couldn't tell us otherwise. Now you're living through the hard struggle, like in real time. It's really in your face, and you're retracting. Like, I remember having those because I mean, people know, like, my dad is the person that I think set the bar of what my walk with Christ looked like, or was going to look like.
Right.
And I think it's a big reason why, like, I was attracted to you, or why I'm, especially now, watching you be who God has always intended you to be. It's like, I have so many moments where I'm like, that is such a, like, dad moment, like my dad moment, you know?
Yeah.
And but anyway, that was like a side tangent. But yeah, so we go through COVID, how hard that was to, like, feel like, I mean, I literally remember us being like, so, I guess if you want to call it naive, you can, but like, you are not going to take that from me, of like, literally on this, like, it doesn't matter if I'm on the mountain or I'm in the valley, Lord, like, you are still sitting on the throne and you are still God. So no matter what this outcome is, like, you have got to have something good on the other side of it. So I'm going to walk through this valley, but I'm going to praise you like I'm on the mountaintop.
Yeah.
Because I know where Grandma Carol's going. So whether she stays on this earth or she goes with you, like, she longs to be with you anyway. And I know what she's planted here. So, like, Lord, you're good either way. Like, how else can we see this?
It's so funny, like, different perspectives. Like, that's what you're seeing. And for some reason, God is showing me, like, the promise of the family.
Okay.
And so, like, I'm thinking in those moments, legacy-wise.
Okay.
So almost like, I can't let this die here.
And
It's not going to die here.
No.
And I think it's what propelled my faith to say, like, when God instantly showed me Tennessee, even though it seems like divisive or separation, it was like I was actually walking out everything that God had shown her at some point. And I don't even know that.
Yeah.
But just to know who Grandpa Jim and Grandma Carol were in my life, and then especially Joe and Kim, like, that ability to then know, like, even though I'm not blood related to this family, like, I picked up the mantle to make sure that this doesn't die here in this, like, in this sad moment.
Right.
Like, what the enemy meant for evil, God is going to turn for good.
Right.
And even if I don't see it in my own life, I am now focused, just like they were, to make sure that my kids see the goodness of the Lord and know and start to honestly believe things that I don't know if we actually believe, especially, like, in our Western culture. Kind of getting back to the patristic mind of, like, what the early church actually believed.
Yeah.
And how close they could get to God and to heaven.
Well, I mean, think about it. In that it's in the land of the living. Now, obviously, we believe when we go to heaven, right, you're still living, but that's your spiritual body, right?
Yeah.
So I believe living is here and now.
Right.
Right? With breath in our lungs, alive, where we're not dead, you know? And so obviously that can go a couple ways, and I know that we could have a conversation just on that in itself.
Yeah.
But it's seeing your goodness in the land of the living.
Yeah.
Like, God, I am upright, I am breathing, I am living, and I want my children to see your goodness in this life.
Yeah.
Not just in the next life, because we're going to get there. And I already know that that's going to be amazing. That's going to bring its own amazement and awe and glory.
Yeah.
That I'm never even going to be able to picture until I'm there.
Right.
So, Lord, you obviously have me here for a reason. So I want it to be here and now, in the land of the living, your goodness.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think, so Tim sitting, so my favorite picture, I guess, is when, so Grandma Carol passes. Mind you, during that time, we would drive around while she was in the hospital. Nobody could go see her. We would drive around the hospital. We would be praying. We'd walk around the hospital. We would take our little kids. We'd be declaring things. And so I think it's also really amazing. And I think the honor where honor is due, right? She dies on her birthday, on her 81st birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was her 81st birthday. Like, the day you got brought into the world is also the same day that you leave this earth. How amazing is that?
Yeah.
Like, to me, we could also have a whole conversation on that.
Yeah. Well, that was my Abraham moment, right? Of like dying to old self,
Yes.
God promising you something new and having to walk it out. So
Yes.
it is that moment of death, burial, and resurrection all the same.
It was amazing.
It's awesome.
And so then after that, you're sitting at our kitchen table. Mind you, this man worked all the time, like 7 days a week, never took a break. We hardly saw him. And then all of a sudden the world shuts down. We're not only with him for almost, I think it was 10, I think our trip to like Arizona Disneyland was 10 days. And then he's home for 2 weeks. And who knows at that point what it's going to look like, right? And so it's like the kids are in awe of like, we have daddy home. Like, what in the world? But you sat at that kitchen table and there was, I don't think anybody can convince me otherwise ever that, I mean, I'm pretty sure you sat at that kitchen table all day and all night and like part of the next day and you didn't even know what day it was. Like, I don't know that you slept. And no exaggeration in that. Like, I literally remember like you sat at the kitchen table all day in your word. And I was just thinking like, this is so sexy, but also I do not want to like interfere with whatever God is doing.
Yeah.
And it was also this moment where our kids, like, I do remember how just like peaceful, and not that I don't feel like our kids are not peaceful kids, but they were little and you were home.
Yeah.
Yet they never like asked you for anything. Like, I would put a meal down in front of you and I would go back and like it'd be gone, but I don't ever remember having conversation with you. I just remember seeing you. And it was like, just let him be.
Yeah.
And so then it was this amazing time to just watch the Lord really, you really encounter the Lord. You really seek after the Lord. And I remember Bentley at one point was like, I think when he woke up the next morning, he was like, is Daddy ever going to leave that spot? And I was like, yes, he will. And I was thinking like, okay, Lord, like at some point he's going to have to encounter his kids too. Like, and I just thought it was so sweet though, because Bentley was like, they would just like watch you and they had no reference for you in that realm.
Yeah.
And so then, okay, so then fast forward like 2 months, it's like June-ish time. You come to me and you're like, hey, so what do you think about moving? And I'm like, yeah, you've always wanted to like build your own house. Sure. And you're like, no, like move to Tennessee. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I get we're in the middle of a pandemic. I get and I'm pretty sure I said this exact sentence. Like, I get we're in the middle of a pandemic. I get that you have been seeking after the Lord and hearing from him, but like, I think you heard wrong. It's such a terrible thing to say as a wife, like as a spouse in general. Like, what the heck? Not a fine moment. I'll take that. But I
mean, at least like it wasn't that bad in the moment because like I wasn't producing a bunch of fruit. It was, like,
still,
in the sense of like
that was the
I
start.
would kind of be like, "Are you sure?"
Well,
I think it was a good question because it honestly like it wasn't negative for me. It was honestly like, yeah, did I hear God? And like,
yeah.
I think if it would have been kind of just like an easy walk in the park, I probably could have forgotten God just as fast, you know?
Yeah.
So like,
Well, and typically I will always be like, yeah, sure, Tim, we'll do what you want. And this, I was like, absolutely not.
yeah.
I think too, because my family was getting so close and I didn't want that to change because it was what I've always longed for.
Yeah.
And
It's good. It's true.
like to be so closely knit, you know?
Yeah.
And even though they're not my blood family, they've always been my family. Like,
Yeah.
that's never changed in my mind. Like, they are my family.
Yeah.
And I think I was like living in that moment of like, this is what I've always longed for, you know, with them. And so, but then of course the Lord had to deal with me. I was sitting with the Lord one day and he was like, Lindsay, you don't want to say yes to something And I'm telling you, I need you to surrender your yes.
Yeah.
Actually, before that, he gave me a word for the first time ever in my entire life. Like, every time people talked about having a word, I was like, I don't even know what that is. Like, God never has given me a word. And it was the day that we were getting family pictures with my whole family, like with like all of us kids and parents. And the Lord that morning said, you need to be available. And in that day, literally on that day, I think we had like $75 in our bank account. And the Lord was like, not only do you need to be available, but you need to humble yourself and like do something for your siblings. And I text everybody. And if you know me, I'm like not a picture taker. Being in front of this camera is also like super weird.
She'll make you take pictures, but yeah, she doesn't want to.
I don't want to take pictures. I want to take your picture so that you will have that memory forever. I don't like getting my hair done because I have to look in a mirror the whole time. Like, yeah, no, I don't want to have, yeah, no. So even this, like having to see myself while I'm doing this, weird. But he's gonna heal me of that. It's just my own issues, obviously, which we'll go into that because #sports life. But anyway, I remember he was like, what is one thing that all of your siblings have in common that they love? Because also, like, not all of us like taking pictures either. So it was gonna be 7 kids, our kids, like it was gonna be a big deal.
Yeah.
And the Lord was like, coffee. And you're the closest one to everybody's favorite, which is Morgan's Coffee. And I was like, dang. Okay, but I only have this much money in my bank account. And I remember coming to you and being like, I have to do this, but like we don't have enough money to do it. And you were like, well, if God told you to do it, then you better do it. And I was like, dang it, he said to be available. And he was like, sounds like you're doing it. And so I show up with coffee in hand, and like nobody really like super appreciated it because it was probably just like a normal thing. Like we drink coffee, that's what we do. But I just remember the Lord like had to remind me like, hey, this isn't about anybody else other than your availability. And then I remember the next morning I was sitting with the Lord and he was like, hey, so Tim's gonna talk to you about something and you need to say yes. And I was like, Lord, if this is what it was a couple months ago, like absolutely not. And he was like, you need to say yes. As his wife, you need to say yes. And I remember you came home that night and I was standing outside of so like we had a hallway and from the garage to the laundry room enters this hallway. And I was standing there and you walked in because I could hear your truck and you come in and you walked in. And okay, I remember it this way. So if I'm wrong, please correct me. Be gentle when you correct me. I remember you being very emotional. And I also remember like you didn't just come into the house. Like I heard your truck, I heard it turn off. It took you a second to come in. And because I remember just like, and obviously in those times, right, time feels like forever. So maybe it really wasn't. But I just remember you walked in, I felt like you were emotional and you were like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, I just need to tell you my answer is yes, but I can't talk about it right now. Like I'm not ready to like go to action. I just need you to know that you have my yes.
That's how I remember it.
Okay. Yes, good. And
because yeah, I already knew. It's hard for me sometimes when like, I don't love rejection, but it also doesn't scare me, which I know probably does not make any sense.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to people who I really love and mean a lot, it does matter. So then feeling like I've already asked and I almost already know the answer, but like
I'm gonna ask again.
If I don't ask it, like it's just kind of like that one more. And honestly, I think it was like for me sitting in my truck thinking like, you have messed this up. So almost, I think God reminding me that like this isn't about you.
Yeah.
And as long as you'll follow me, like I've already gone before you.
Yeah, literally.
So, yeah, it's just another like humbling moment of like, sure, I did everything to mess it up, but grace isn't fair.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Thank you, P. Shane.
Yeah.
Trademark.
Yeah, so I remember that happening like that, and you were like, we don't have to talk about it. And I was like, I need you to give me a month to really just like pray into this and really ask the Lord to give me like some major clarity in what we're doing, because I was like, we are literally changing our entire lives. All that we've ever dreamed about, all that we've ever known, we are changing. And this is not just going to be a no big deal, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And so I remember praying about it, and I remember it was in October, and the Lord was like, Lindsay, just do the first thing. What's the first thing? And literally me responding like, God, what is the first thing? Like sitting on our couch. And he was like, look around, like, what is the first thing? And I was like, well, we're kind of in the middle of like, I started painting the house, like the inside of the house. And there were like some random small things we wanted to still do. And he was like, obedience is just doing the next thing. Like, do the first thing, then do the next thing after that. Like, just do the first thing. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to finish painting. So I finished painting. And then I was like, okay, we've always said we wanted new floors. And like, so then that's where you and I just like decided like, we're just going to get our house ready. Because regardless, if we get our house ready and it doesn't sell, we're not moving, right?
Right.
Or we get our house ready and it sells, we're moving.
Right.
Like, so regardless, let's do what we want to our house, because we already had the intention of doing that.
Yep.
And so I was like, okay, Lord, we can do that. And so we started doing that, like small things at a time, just doing little things. And then in December, the end of December, you get a bonus for Christmas. And I remember we needed like so much money to finish the house. And by this point, we have told nobody. None of our family knows. We're praying into this. We're renovating our house. Actually, my dad knew. My dad did know, because we kept calling him to come help. And people just thought like, oh, we're helping Tim and Lindsay. Like, not that we had a ton of people helping, but like the closest people to us would come help. And they were like, oh, they're just helping Tim and Lindsay, you know, like they've always helped us. So like, we're going to help them. And I remember we kind of like got to a standstill. Like, we couldn't do what we knew we were going to still need to do. And your bonus was enough, like literally to the like dollar amount. To like do the rest of what we needed, or like what we thought we needed. And so that was such a blessing. And then, yeah, so then the beginning of January comes, maybe even the end of December, not 100% certain on that. I get a phone call, and it's, hey, you need to, or hey, this is Alaska Airlines. You have a credit that needs to be used before February of 2021. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, you booked a flight for May of 2020 and it got canceled. And I was like, oh no, like I canceled that. And they were like, well, technically, like we weren't really flying anyway. So like you might have canceled it, but like the airlines canceled it anyway. And I'm like, what the heck? So we were supposed to go to a wedding in Missouri. We used our Saver ticket, so it was free, or like $50 or something. And then we bought like a Saver ticket, or like we bought a Saver ticket, which is like the cheapest ticket, not a big deal, sit wherever. And then we used like our companion fare, sorry.
Yep.
So like this ticket, all in all, I think cost us like $500. Like, didn't cost us the whole lot. And so she's like, well, you need to use this. And I'm like, I can't go anywhere. Like, and I'm thinking, God, what the heck? Like, we can't go anywhere, Lord. Like, not on $500. Like, what in the world? And so, and mind you, like when you do the Saver tickets, like you don't get your money back.
Right.
Like you're okay with losing your money.
Yep.
That's the gamble. And so she's like, okay, well, let's book something right now. And I'm like, okay, first of all, customer service is normally not like this, right? I'm like, ma'am, I can't go anywhere. Like, we have no money to go anywhere. We're renovating our house. And she's like, awesome. Like, why are you renovating your house? And I'm like, well, because, you know, we think we might be moving to Tennessee. She's like, let's look at Nashville. And I was like, oh, my Lanta, here we go. So this woman is like, okay, so I can book you 2 flights to Nashville in a couple weeks, and you'll still have money left over. I'm like, wait, what? How is that possible? And she's like, yeah, you have like $2,500. I said, that ticket did not cost me $2,500. I promise you. Like, I would not have spent that much money. Like, if I'm gonna spend that kind of money, I'm going to Hawaii. And she's like, well, that's how much the airline says that you have, so that's what you... I'm like, this has got to be a scam. Like, this cannot be real. And she's like, ma'am, this is real. Like, are we gonna book this flight or not? And I'm like, okay, so hold on. I said, can I put you on hold and call my husband? She was like, yeah, no problem. First of all, like, that never happens either. So I called Tim and I'm like, this just happened. We're going. And he's like, okay, sounds good.
I'm like, why aren't you booking it?
Book it. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, but we need somebody to watch the kids. And he's like, call my sister. So we get our flights booked. And I'm like, okay, Erica always like wants to come see the kids. She'll buy her own plane ticket. Like, we can kind of get away with this and make it happen. And the lady's like, oh yeah, you still have like $1,300 left or something. And I'm like, what? She's like, you want to book another like flight? And I was like, actually, can you tell me how much it would cost from someone to fly from San Antonio to Seattle? And she was like, yeah. She was like, oh yeah. I mean, it ends up being like $500.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, can I put you on hold again? And she's like, yeah, no problem. I'll stay on hold. I was like, okay, cool. So I call your sister. I'm like, hey, I can't really tell you all the ins and outs. I just need to know, like, would you want to watch the kids from this timeline to this timeline? And she's like, yes. I said, it's paid for. You can have our car. Like, I just need you to watch the kids. And she's like, yeah. So I get back on the phone, confirm all the bookings, and she's like, do you want to book something else? Like, you still have money left over. And I'm like, I think this is enough for today. Like, this is plenty. I don't know that I need another trip after this. And if we do, like, I'll let you know. And so, just this amazing moment of like, what is happening? And so much excitement. And so we booked these tickets, and we end up coming out here to Cookeville, Tennessee, and you get a job on the spot. This is the part that I kind of just don't really want to go into a whole lot of. Okay. Like, you get a job on the spot. I think the bullet points would be like, we only had one opportunity to meet them because our timelines didn't match, and they're not there. Then they are there. You get a job on the spot, but talking about something completely different than what they do.
Yeah. My bottom line is God orchestrated it. He knew where we needed to be. He knew this was the place.
Yeah.
And he aligned everything.
100%.
All I had to do was, again, walk in obedience, trust in him, not in what my skills were or what I could do.
Yeah.
But just the simple obedience of like, the Lord is moving. I need to get here. Can I have a job? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy. And I think I want to point out too, like, in that meeting they told you 2 weeks ago, we prayed for God to send somebody. Yeah. And literally, if you line it up, maybe it isn't to a T like the exact day, but it is very, I mean, I don't think you can convince me otherwise.
Right.
It probably was. Is that the same? It ends up being 2 weeks from when we're there is about the time that I get the phone call for booking our tickets.
Yep.
So, like, that was already a God moment. Like, okay, Lord, okay, you've outdone yourself.
Yep.
This is who you are. Like, wow. So good. And then, so yeah, you get a job. I'm standing in Soulcraft Coffee. Hashtag Soulcraft is the best. I love Anna. If she ever watches this. I was standing there and I get a phone call from Tim and he's crying and Anna's like, you're moving. And I'm like, we're moving. Like, oh my Lanta, we're moving. So obviously too, just like trying to figure out like, okay, God, if you're moving us, how do we, careful my finger. How, like, what's the next step? And I loved it because right before we left, you told our pastor back home, and Ken told both of us on Sunday before we left as well. He told us God honors obedience. And I was like, Ken, but how do I know I'm being obedient? Like, you know, you know when you're under your parents' house, like what the rules are. So you know what obedience is. And he was like, Lindsay, you know it's obedience because what is your heart posture? And when you walk and you think it's God, and maybe it isn't, he's going to honor it because at least you were willing to be obedient. Now, obviously, he's not talking about anything that's immoral or outside of like God's character and whatnot. But like in this situation, I think we're supposed to move to Tennessee. I don't actually know. Like, God didn't write me a letter and sign it. God, like, this is what you're doing.
Well, I love it because he always told us to follow peace.
Yeah.
Like, let peace be your umpire. Mm-hmm. I think that resonated to us because we love baseball and softball. So we know that it's not like this, you're out as in you missed it. But, like, God is always, like, I guess just learning that, like, there's nothing you can do to make it, and there's nothing you can do to not make it.
Yeah.
You're just allowing peace to overwhelm you, that it feels like outside of yourself.
Yeah.
And that's hard because we, as people, want to understand it mentally. Mm-hmm. We want to know, what's the next step? How do I do this?
Yeah.
And you learn that obedience is trust. Like, whenever I read the Bible, I intermix faith with trust because faith is a realm. And as you're walking out your faith, you're learning and you're growing to trust God more.
Yeah.
And so when you think about it like that, you'll never know if you're trusting him until you put yourself in a situation that requires trust to be grown.
Yeah.
So it's like, I felt like, like what he was telling us, like, even if you go and you missed it, you were trusting in God because it was outside of yourself.
Right.
And from there, like, how are you missing it?
Right.
God was there. Mm-hmm. And then you get confidence, right? Your faith does grow.
Yeah.
So after this, like, by the time we got there and I walked in to that office for an interview, it was undeniable to me, like, what I was actually walking out.
Yeah.
So he's revealing all the time. God is too big to miss. Mm-hmm. But we think he's like this big and we're trying to like
find him.
Get the exact microscopic.
Like, where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Like, he's not Waldo. He's not trying to hide from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think too, like, we invited the kids into the space of, and they were little. I mean, they were what? At this time, I think they're 8, 6, and 4. Mm. Yeah, they're 8, 6, and 4 at this time. And we told them why we were coming here. So they knew. Like, we really feel like the Lord's asking us to move. And, like, first of all, that's crazy. Like, who tells their 4-year-old that?
You remember?
Oh,
I think, like, a few days before we left, I looked up YouTube videos of Dollywood, and we were, like...
Yes!
on the roller coasters, pretending like we're at Dollywood. I'm
so
like, this
ghetto.
is going to be close to us. We can go to Dollywood.
You're so good.
Like, no way.
Yeah.
They just got back from Disneyland, so they were all about it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is, like, the #1 park in all of America. And that's going to be in our backyard.
Kind of.
No way.
Yeah, that is funny. So, fast forward, we tell Aunt Kim, she helps us sell our house, get everything really ready in our house that, like, we wouldn't have thought of to do.
Yeah.
And at this time, yes, we are in a seller's market. So we list our house, and she basically is like, we're going to list it for 3 days, and then we're taking it off the market, and, like, your house will be sold. Yep. Which she was correct. Like, we listed it for 3 days. By the end of the 3 days, I mean, even after the 3 days, she had offers coming in. Yep. But I think we had 6 offers, like, that were legit to look through. And all were over asking price.
Yeah, all had escalating clauses up too.
Like, none of them were bare minimum.
Over asking.
And we didn't take the top 2. Like, we just felt like it was outrageous. Like, there's no way we could, like, in good conscience, sell our house for that much. Like, it was going to be stupid. And one of them had, like, a weird thing.
I don't think that's true.
One was weird. Yeah.
We took the middle one.
Yeah. That's where I'm getting to.
Of the highest price, though.
Well, I know we did.
There's only one other that was above.
Oh, I thought that there was 2. But one was weird because it was like they had to live in our house for 3 days to see if they liked it. Like, remember, it was like this weird thing. Anyway, and then, so we took the middle one because, one, we knew they were non-believers. I mean, that wasn't the real reason, but we knew they were adopting. They were fostering to adopt.
Well, they wrote us a letter.
They wrote us this amazing letter, and, like, kind of put us back into when we bought our house, because when we bought our house, you went to the house. I never saw the house before we offered anything on it. And you encountered the owner and like had this amazing like conversation, and like he even told you like good luck, like, because yeah, there was other people wanting this house as well. So I think we kind of got
when
to
I bought it, that was amazing. 'Cause I went the day it got listed, and there was somebody in the house walking it, and they were with their real estate agent, and I even knew the agent, and he was like telling them, oh, you can remodel this and do all this, and I just talked to the owner and told him our story. I told him about our kids.
Yeah. And so I think we kind of like had that reliving moment of like, this house is for so much more.
Yeah.
It's not just a house to us, and it wasn't a house to him. And he had passed while we had lived there, or like we found out that he had died. And so I think again, just like honoring.
Yeah, on a sailboat.
Yeah. It was kind of sad.
He was a sailor.
And
That's
so
why he sold the money to go sail.
He sold the house to have the money to sail, yeah.
Like he built his own boat. It was a pretty cool story.
So, yeah, so we sell our house. We move out. I mean, it all happened so fast, right? And it was just like the Lord's hand on it the whole time. Like, you can't deny that. And so then we move out with Chris and Darian in their tiny little house and live in their loft with 3 kids.
Yeah.
And that, again, can't convince me otherwise, one of the best times in our lives. Like, the kids remember it. They love it. They ask when they can do it again. And I'm like, yeah, how do we #do that ever again? Like, no. Because now they have 2 kids as well. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
But anyway, just like,
I think we should go into a part 2 and just kind of break this last part down.
okay,
Because I think
we're never going to finish. Ever.
Well,
We're never going to get there.
We will get there. This
Okay.
is too good.
Okay, where are we ending it? I'm confused.
Well, I think we should just transition from like, okay, our house is sold, and we're what God did through those last month, really,
Yeah.
of leaving Washington
Yeah.
and opening the door for me to get to speak and like start to actually walk out ministry in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to just kind of go in depth on that and what God was shifting my heart.
Okay.
And then how we moved here and ultimately like how we end up at the bend of where we're at.
Okay.
So
we're ending it right now.
yeah.
Oh, my
I think
Lanta.
we should.
Okay, then let me say this. We live with Chris and Darian.
Okay.
For like, I think it was like 5 weeks. You still went to work. We did family things with Chris and Darian that, again, can never, like, so grateful, so thankful. And like just made amazing memories with people. We had tons of meals with people we loved. Through the kids, pretty much their first birthday parties, like to say bye to people as well, because they all had birthdays like leading up to us leaving, and because they're all stacked. And so
got to watch some of your family move. They began to move to Texas.
Yeah.
Walk
And
through that.
then we are rooted in our church at the time, loving every bit of it, serving, just loving the people who are in leadership. Still to this day, love them dearly. Had a small group that was, again, like, I think if we were still in Washington, would just be so thriving and amazing. Just pure of heart, raising kids together, just having a good time. Like, the joy of the Lord was there.
Yeah.
So every reason to stay. Every reason to stay. And yeah, like, you worked up until we literally moved. Like, literally, you did. Because we love the people, and we just loved on people how I think we desire our life to always be. Like, loving on people. So we get in a car, we leave in the middle of the night on a Sunday and start our drive to Tennessee. And I think I want to leave it when we get to Tennessee. So like through that drive, we got to do so many things, even though we made it quick yet not. Like we had our dog. We have, at this point now, we have a 9, 7, 5-year-old in a Honda Pilot driving to Tennessee, across the country from Washington to Tennessee. And like, yeah, we stopped and did things. Like we stopped at a hotel that had a, water slide, and our kids love water. So like that was huge. They had their first Cracker Barrel experience. Would not say that we are fans. Don't come at us. And went to Mount Rushmore. Got to, well, from a distance, pray for someone, because the kids were the ones that initiated. Like this man had fallen, and he was older, and he was like bleeding, and obviously it's May, the end of May, and,
Right.
and they're like, we need to pray for him, and he had medics around him and stuff. Like there was no way we were going to be able to get to him, but it was like we weren't going to just leave it at we can't pray for him.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, then pray for him, and they did.
Jordan.
Yeah. And then I think the next stop we make is in Nebraska, which was not a whole lot of fun. But and then we went to Missouri to see my family, because I have family in Missouri, and so we stayed with them, hung out with them, spent an extra day with them, and then made it to Tennessee to sign on a house that we had not seen
Yep.
or known anything about, but we were like, this is our home, we're going to live here, and it's going to be amazing.
That's right.
And we had an empty house to fill.
Yep.
And that's where we're leaving it? Oh, sad. That's where we're leaving it. Okay, that means you have to come back.
Yep.
We're never going to end this story. Like,
Yes,
this
we are.
This is why we started a
Well,
podcast.
if you would be so long-winded. You want to make it short.
I'm pretty
50
sure.
minutes in.
I'm pretty sure you're long-winded.
I'm not long-winded.
And also, this was with no caffeine.
Give a heart if Lindsay's long-winded. Give a thumbs up if I'm long-winded.
That's sad. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't want to know if I'm long-winded. Oh, man. Well,
We love you.
yes.
We pray that this day is everything and more that God has for you.
Yes.
We pray that as you're walking through your journey, as you're making your own story, that you don't get discouraged, that in those times where you're questioning where God is, that you would just allow peace to overwhelm you, that you would let the joy set before you.
Oh, that's good.
Just be everything. Like, shift your heart to the gratitude that comes only from Him,
Yeah.
and just seek Him with all your heart, and just watch what God can do. It's really through the life that you live that God shows up,
Yeah.
not with this longing for ministry. And obviously, yeah, those are good things, but the marketplace, the actual life that we live, has so much more value to the kingdom. And I love that God brought us here, because we're just all about building the kingdom and allowing people to just experience life and write their story, and walk out obedience and availability, and follow their heart, and just allow God to do what only He can do in and through you. So
Yeah. Because
again,
discouragement, it's going to come. But
absolutely.
if you can set your eyes on the things of Him
Yeah.
and really allow yourself to speak out loud who God is, to remind yourself that He's constant, He doesn't change, He's intentional, and His character is consistent, then you'll start to remind yourself of who you are.
Yeah.
Like He'll speak back to you. And it's this mirror image, right? Like we're made in His image, so, and in His likeness.
Yeah.
And so He's close to the brokenhearted and the weary. Like
right.
that's where He wants to meet us. Jesus did not come into this world in a palace. Though He was the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, He didn't come in a palace, in a kingdom.
Yep.
He was born in the lowly of lowliest, the dirtiest of dirtiest.
Yep.
Like He always was the one who was willing to go low and be put in those positions to be low, to show us that we can mirror Him.
That's right.
And that it's not about the status we carry, but it is about who we carry with us.
Yeah.
And things can come in blessings with that.
That's right.
But it's not about your status, because Jesus was the status. He was the status quo, and He didn't get any of that honor.
That's right. So
Yeah.
let Tolo remind you that you're never too low.
Ooh, that was
God
good.
will find you where you're at. He wants to meet you in that low spot, because He's a stooping God.
Yeah.
He'll stoop down to the sand and write your story
Mm-hmm.
in the sand and allow your tears to actually bring it to life.
Yeah. He'll know that you, at your lowest of lows, touched him, his
That's
hem
right.
of his garment, and he'll reach down to pick you up and pull you out and heal you of all the things.
That's right.
Oh, that's good. Okay. We love you guys. Thank you for listening, watching, following along with us. We appreciate you. And yeah, just continue to go out there and do big things for the kingdom. Small things for the kingdom, doesn't matter. Just do them through obedience and honor for the Lord. We love you guys.
Bye, y'all.